Weather portion of Ag Week now, and we're approaching the final days to plant spring wheat and corn, but the gloomy and damp weather has not been our friend for planting season, and it's going to be touch and go in the northern plains for the next couple of weeks. Let me walk you through your forecast. This dip in the jet stream is responsible for that cool down. Meanwhile, it's been toasty to the south and the east, where record highs have been broken in the 90s within the past week. As we get into the middle of this week, though, we start to see a little more amplitude in the jet stream, and that is setting up for a very active pattern that's going to bring various storms to the middle of the country. Meanwhile, warm weather seeps to the north on the east coast, while cooler weather seeps down to the south on the west coast. We're going to see below average temperatures as we head throughout the next couple of weeks in the plains and points off to the west. Meanwhile, on the east coast, expecting above average temperatures for the next 8 to 14 days. Then as we get into the second week of this forecast, now the last week of May, the jet stream starts to level out a little bit, and that's going to help push down that hot weather further to the Gulf Coast, keeping warm weather near the Great Lakes and still near average weather in the northern plains. As for precipitation, with that very jagged jet stream, that's going to bring low pressure systems from the southwest to the northeast, various shower chances, and especially storms in the southern and central plains, and further out to the west, showers across parts of the northwest and in northern California, where they already saw about 2 to 4 inches of rain last week. Then the second week of this forecast, now the last week of May, as that jet levels out, likely to see showers right along that jet, bringing them right to the northern plains. I wouldn't call it a complete washout of a forecast, but periodic showers are in the forecast throughout the next 2 weeks. With all of that in mind, we are looking at below average temperatures, of course, a slight warm up throughout the forecast period, but still below average, with wetter weather on the way and storms for the first week of this forecast to our south.